Body, and Soul with Annette, where your hosts, Annette Harris, analyze intriguing life questions and concerns, such as, do Christians suffer from mental illness? Have you wondered why they act abnormal? Or you may ask, what is really going on in their minds? Do you need a net? Well, keep listening for a biblical understanding of the psychology of the mind.
Hey, great afternoon and welcome to another wonderful session of Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette and Annette Harris, in case you didn't know. Thank you so much for joining us on this afternoon, for watching and or listening. Before we go further, Lord, we thank you for this beautiful day that you've blessed us to see. It is gorgeous outside, oh God. You have blessed us to be here. We are yet in the land of the living. We are here doing your will. We pray that you would get the glory out of today's session in whatever we go to say and do on this day. In Jesus' name we pray. And our opening scripture that I normally like to quote is the first part of Hosea 4 and 6. And it states, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. And again, we are so glad to be here. We are so glad for the opening prayer, the opening scripture. Of course, we want to try and attain as much knowledge as we can while we are here living on earth, so we can be an encouragement to others. But God equips us with what we need while we are living here in this life. So I want to let you know, when you do come into the live feed, go ahead, like and share. Please like and share if you would not mind. And letting others, this will let others know that we are on. So I'm on my Facebook page, Annette known as Annette. Also, I'm on my YouTube channel right now live. If you go to YouTube and type in MBSWANET, Get Caught in Annette, you will see us live there. And then also, of course, you can listen to us on the station's website, intellectualradio.com, intellectualradio.com, all one word, and you can hear us there. So I am frantically excited on today, as usual. I normally get excited when Wednesday rolls around, and I get doubly excited, if I can say it like that, because of my guest. I am joined this afternoon by a wonderful woman of God that I probably met maybe couple of years ago.
At least three.
At least three, 2 3 years. She's holding up her fingers for me. She's trying to help me to remember. I suppose it has been. And we have actually, that's probably the first and last time I physically saw her, I think. But you're on Facebook or whatever, you have your friends or whatever. Sometimes you think you've seen somebody, because you've been corresponding on Facebook. That's how it has been with us. And I'm speaking of none other than Tracy Kincaid. And I was looking, I'm sorry, I was about to call. Is that your maiden name, Crawford?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think okay.
Either one is
either
okay,
one, but we're not going to disrespect. We're going to say Tracy Kincaid on today. She is joining us this afternoon because she has a powerful story to tell. And I am so excited. She reached out to me probably, oh goodness, maybe a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
Because we've been trying to get it together. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she is writing. She's doing something about her journey. And of course, I'm like, okay, yeah, let's get this thing together. And so she inquired about coming on the show, and I'm like, yes, please do. Let's set this up. Both of our schedules are so crazy, so busy, and but we're here now. We're here, and we're excited about it.
Finally.
She is a contributing author, and I'm going to read her bio. She sent me a revised bio, so I'm going to read that. But to let you know, she is a contributing author to a book anthology that is directed by Lady Rochelle Dotson Matheny. So let me read the bio here that I have for her. Tracy Kincaid is an American author, breast cancer survivor, vocalist, which I did not know, songwriter, and philanthropist. Her lifelong mission has been to further advance her giving by creating an organization to reach out into undeserved communities and assist with the needs of the people. And I love it when people give of themselves and they think about others who are less fortunate. So I love that. As an author, Tracy is delighted to share her breast cancer story in a tell all book anthology. When Warriors Talk, God Listens, by Lady Rochelle Dotson Matheny. These two chapters, these are her two chapters. My Secret is Out, and my new norm are sure to raise some eyebrows. And I would totally agree with that if I must say so myself. It also says here before moving to Chicago, Tracy served as a member of the Thomas and Terry Apartments Resident Council in Brooklyn, Illinois. As vice president, she was employed as program coordinator of their Family Resource Center. During this time, she was introduced to various training opportunities at Neighborhood Leadership Development Institute in Washington, D.C., under the leadership of Bob Woodson. After moving to Chicago in 1994, Tracy began working with the youth through outreach programs within her community. She became the trusted youth leader at United Methodist Church of Rogers Park, where she served for 7 years before relocating to the West Haven community. It was then when she realized that her work must not end and that she had to give more of herself to better serve her West Side neighborhood. And you see this big heart already that I'm talking about. She has a huge heart. Tracy was unfortunately diagnosed with breast cancer and was not able to continue her work as planned, but she fought hard and she won. Hallelujah. During her recovery, Tracy realized that the time had come for her to take back her life and make an even bigger impact in the world. She and her family started the organization Forever Hope Agency, a non for profit, where she is a co founder and serves as the vice president. Her organization proudly provides STEM or slash arts program and summer camps for at risk youth in collaboration with the Chicago Bulls Prep, Major Adams Community Center, Near West Side Community Development Corporation, and UIC Prep. They also sponsor breast cancer events and host a community staple. Oh, back to school block party. Love it. Okay, that was previously sponsored by Walgreens, Dr. Pepper, Snapple Group, Sweetwater, SAE Institute, and NUSA. Okay, I've heard of all those. Okay, where over 300 children and families are positively impacted each year. Tracy Kincaid is on a mission to teach, reach, and inspire others through her experiences. She is stronger, wiser, more confident, and today she is living her best life.
Thank you.
Welcome again to Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette Tracy Kincaid.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us on today. I'm so glad that you're here. I am so excited about your journey. I'm so excited about the mission that
Yes.
God has given you. I'm telling you, this is not anything to be taken lightly. She is doing what I believe the Lord intends for her to do. So, you guys welcome her in. When you come into the live feed again, go ahead, like and share, like and share. I see some of you on already. Demetrius Charleston. Hey, thanks for watching. Beatrice is on. Let's see. Who else? Okay, I can't see the other names. Please forgive me. But go ahead, like and share. I'm going to share these to some groups so that we can have others to know that we are on today, and so you won't miss anything because I'm telling you, when we get to talk about her story, you're going to understand why I said that. Tracy, let's see here. I already mentioned that we met. We actually met at Lady Rochelle's, and please help me to remember the name of the event. I know it was a breast cancer event, and it was her first
It was her
one,
first event, but I don't
annual.
remember the name of it.
Okay, Lady Rochelle Dotson Matheny. She is a breast cancer survivor as well.
Yes.
And she is doing great things in the community. She has her
Yes.
own radio show called Warriors
Laura's
Talk.
Talk, yes.
And, she believed that's what the Lord gave her, after going through with her own journey. So this is where I went to go and support Lady Rochelle. And then I met
That's
Tracy
right.
there. And it has, we have been friends ever since. So I thank God for that and for that opportunity to even meet her because, oh goodness, listening to the women even at that first annual event, it was eye-opening,
Yes.
definitely, to say the least. And it makes you think. It makes you think about your own self, your own body, and everything. So I want you to talk to my listeners about you, about your journey, how we even got here to this point. as we stated in your bio, you were unfortunately diagnosed with it. But maybe let's back up a little bit. Talk to us in your own words about Tracy, Tracy Crawford, Tracy Kincaid. Introduce yourself to my listeners. I mean, I know I did a little bit through your bio. Talk about that first, and then take us through your journey and how we got here today.
Yes. Well, again, my name is Tracy, and I'll just kind of hyphenate it Crawford Kincaid.
Okay.
I'm a mother of two. I have two beautiful grandsons. My youngest grandson, Mayor, just celebrated his first birthday
Oh,
on the 13th. He was actually born on Mother's Day last year, so that was such a gift from
oh,
God.
beautiful.
And I have a 16-year-old grandson, Kingston, my daughter's son, Jamisha. And I have a wonderful son, Timothy Kincaid. He is currently preparing for his wedding. So he's
Oh,
engaged, so he'll be getting married in September. And I'm just a really proud mom of, and my family is, I have a beautiful family. Um I love God, and I since my cancer journey began, I have fully committed. I'm fully committed to God now.
beautiful.
I was kind of, I wouldn't say playing church, but I wasn't. But I was playing church. I was playing church, but I'm fully committed to God and to the will of God and what He has called me to do and what He has ordained me to do. I've run for a long, long, long
Mhm.
time. Yes, as far as being an author, becoming an author, the prophecy was given to me so many years ago, over 30 some years ago, and I laughed at the prophet because I didn't like writing. So I laughed and said, well, he must have me confused with someone else because I don't even like writing my name. But I knew that the gift was in me. I was just lazy and I didn't want to, to critique the gift that was in that was there. But now I'm being more obedient. So God is making room for that gift. And so He said He will make room for your gift. And so
Yes.
God has made room for me. And I thank Him for that. My cancer journey began in 2009. But it was even before then that I had actually discovered that there was a lump in my breast. I wouldn't say many years before. I would say a couple of years before. I just don't even remember when. I just
Mm.
know that it was too long of a period of time before I did something about it. And but I actually took a stand and made a conscious decision to go and see about what I felt was going on with me, and that's when I found out that I did have breast cancer. I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
But that was 2 years, 2 full years after you had initially
At least,
realized.
yes,
Okay.
at least.
Now let me ask you a question.
Yeah, come on and beat me.
Because because here at Mind Body and Soul, of course, we know that the whole basis of this show is to talk about psychological and spiritual aspects of everyday life.
Yes,
This falls under that, definitely. This is
I'm the
under that
woman.
umbrella. So what do you think? And because you are not definitely not the only one
Right.
who has waited, maybe not even gone at all to even go and get themselves checked.
Yes.
Why do you think that we're like that? Why do you and where do you see it more, in what community, what areas?
I can say for me, from a personal experience, number one, I was an independent contractor and I didn't have insurance.
Okay.
Number two, I was taking care of a family. At the time I was actually single. So my husband hadn't gotten married at the time. I was a single mom. I had a daughter in college. I had a son. Actually, my daughter had graduated college. My son was in college, and I was busy making sure that they were okay and not prioritizing myself and making sure that my health and my overall well-being was taken care of, because I was putting everything and everybody else ahead of me. And although we oftentimes look all together on the outside, we're the ones that know what's going through our heads when we go and lay our heads on our pillows at night, because we know what so that's another factor. Another factor is just fear. Because, and then when I even knew, because I was a smoker at the time I discovered the lump, I was actually a smoker. And the fear, that you're more at risk. I mean, intelligent people, that you're more at risk. And I was beyond the age of 40. Because, I was like, well, whatever you're doing up until the age of 40, you should kind of like cut that out of your life.
Right.
If you're smoking, don't, you just don't need to be doing. You never needed to do it, but you really don't need to do it now. But it was my drug, and so I was past that time because I was addicted. I was an addict. I was just like a crackhead. I was just, and I'm not trying to label people, but I'm labeling myself. I was just like a crackhead, but on cigarettes. And so it took me a little bit longer than I wanted to, and I felt really embarrassed by that because I couldn't quit smoking on my own. And so I thought I couldn't quit smoking on my own.
Okay.
Because I hadn't stepped out on that faith to allow God to do it for me. And he did eventually. Thank God for that. But yeah, and so I think the fear, not having insurance, and just being too busy and not prioritizing and putting ourselves ahead of everything else, because we're the ones that, especially moms. I mean, I know that there are some men that are diagnosed with breast cancer too, but especially women, we're the caretaker, we're the mom, we're the wife, the spouses,
We're super women.
everything. Yeah, exactly. But at the end of the day, we're really not super. We really need to take care of ourselves because there are a lot of super moms that are in the grave.
Yes, definitely. And I'm glad I asked you that question and you came from your own point of view with the answer, but I'm glad you gave those. And I was just trying to jot down a few notes as you were talking. But yeah, that is so accurate. As women, mothers, wives, what have you,
Yes.
we're gonna make sure our brood is taken care of. We're gonna
Yeah.
make sure our children are well taken care of. And like you said, you were doing that. You were taking care of yourself, and you were, going along,
Right.
your daily life. But taking care of them, excuse me, but
exactly.
not taking care of yourself
Right.
like you should have. And so it was at this point, I mean, because you mentioned about you being a smoker, and so probably in the back of your mind, you're like, okay, I probably
Definitely.
am more at risk
yeah.
than anybody else,
Yes.
At this point. So you like you said, you had that fear.
Yes.
That fear was there.
Yeah.
And, I always tell people a lot of times, sometimes we know certain things, whether it's with our bodies or something that's going on in our homes or whatever, but we don't necessarily want to confront that.
Right.
Because once you confront it, then guess what? You
it.
got to deal with it.
Yeah.
You have to do something
you have
about
to be
it.
accountable for it
Yes.
at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And
so
if you don't,
keep pushing it.
there are consequences. If you don't, there are consequences.
And so then you just keep pushing it to the side.
Right.
Oh, but I got to keep take care of my 2 children. I got to make sure they're good.
That's exactly what I did. Exactly.
Okay.
So I have to confess that it's not a good feeling to actually to open up and to become this vulnerable and transparent.
Right.
But because I know too, and that's, I'm trying not to be selfish. That was very selfish of me though when I did that, because I did that to my family. Possibly I may not have even had to go through chemo or radiation and put them through that, because just because I was diagnosed with the breast cancer and went through the treatment doesn't mean that my family went through it too.
That's true.
And so maybe had I gone earlier, or even just had that annual mammogram when I was supposed to at the age of 40. Now we know that we should do it much sooner now with the growing rate of breast cancer diagnosis. But yeah, I'm just trying not to be selfish, and I want to get this out of me so I can help other women that I know that are probably doing the same thing as myself. And I know that there are women that are, because I'm not alone. It's a whole world of women, so I'm not alone. And I just want to help those women.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. And you're on the right track.
Just step up.
Yes.
Take responsibility.
You're definitely,
because you're not helping anyone. You're not helping anyone when you're acting like everything is okay, and because you have a beautiful face and you can beat that makeup on and you can put on those beautiful garments and look the part. That's not helping anyone, and you're dying on the inside. And eventually you're gonna be like 6 feet under.
Right.
If you don't do something about what you know that's going on inside of you.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it is with any. I know we're talking about her journey today with breast cancer, but there could be other illnesses. It could be other types of cancers.
Right.
It could be other diseases. So we have to, and I know we have a responsibility, and God is going to hold us accountable for what we do in our body and with our body.
Yes.
So we have that responsibility. I do see more of you that have joined us, and I appreciate you. Michelle Thomas,
guys.
Brandy is on. Pastor Gaston, we appreciate you for watching. Janetta Franklin, Chris Davenport, excuse me. Vibes is in the house. I appreciate you. Toyin is on as well. We'll be having her as an upcoming guest on Mind, Body, and Soul. So we appreciate you. You guys, if you have not done so, go ahead and just hit the share button on this live feed for Facebook. And then also remember, we're on YouTube, my YouTube channel, MBSWANET, Get Caught in a Net. And if you're just now joining us, as you see with the title, we are joined by Tracy Kincaid. She is a contributing author of When Warriors Talk, God Listens. I love that. I love the title of that book anthology, and I'm actually appreciative that she has contributed. She said she was prophesied to that she would be an author, but she was like, no,
Not me.
But I'm glad she came away from that shell and is able to tell her story. Now the book is due out
June 22nd.
June 22nd. So
actually, that's the launch, but I believe we'll have books in hand maybe the end of this month.
Okay, so June 22nd is the launch, and we're going to talk about that so that you all will be aware and that you'll prepare yourself. I'm not sure if they'll be doing pre-orders or if pre-orders have been done.
We're going to do pre-orders.
Okay, and so we want you guys to make sure you stay tuned to that. We're going to have her give out her information and all of that so that you can be able to contact them and be able to purchase the book. The creator is Lady Rochelle Dotson Matheny, and we want to, give shout outs to her as well on today, because again, I guess if she hadn't created this, you wouldn't have been able to give your contributing chapters to it. So thank God for her, and thank God for this project. It is definitely something that's needed, and I'm so glad that you all are giving of yourselves or being transparent enough to share your journey, because you do not know who all it's going to touch.
It's going to touch. That's right.
You never know. Somebody may be going through it at that point right then and there, or they may need it later.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't know. We don't know. God is in control of everything. So, okay, yeah, this is good stuff here. I get so excited. Just in case you didn't know, I get excited because, again, with this platform, I just want everybody to understand that, when we talk about things, it is definitely something. I mean, we have an open, mic here to talk about stuff that you may be dealing with secretly or didn't know how to approach it.
Exactly.
You may have had that fear, as we talked about earlier. Yes. So Mind, Body, and Soul gives that platform. So this is good stuff. I think what I want to do is actually take a quick break right here. I want to just play a little bit of music and we'll come back. Let somebody know the Mind, Body, and Soul is on. Let them know that Tracy Kincaid is on today. And we're talking about her journey. She is a survivor. She is a thriver. She is a warrior of breast cancer. And we thank God for it. So let them know that we're on, and we'll be back for more Body and Soul with Annette right here on Intellectual Radio.
Is that anybody's desire or testimony on tonight? I need an encounter, a spiritual encounter. Now, come on, souls. I think we need to break it down. What we talking about? Verse 1, go. I'm not looking for another service to jump and shout, and then I'm through. Nope. But I need more, such an anointing to change my life and be connected with you. I need an encounter, a spiritual encounter with you. Lord, I need you. I need an encounter, spiritual encounter with you. We got another verse, y'all. Well, let's go.
All right, we are back. We are back. This is Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette. We are here on Intellectual Radio. I'm your host, Annette Harris. I'm joined this afternoon by Tracy Kincaid. She is a contributing author to the book anthology, When Warriors Talk, God Listens. And let's see, we've been talking about her history, her journey, talking about Tracy herself, and how we even got to this point. And again, we're just grateful that she is here with us today to share her story, to talk to you, you all, about what she has dealt with and what she is doing now about it, to help you. It helps her and it helps you.
Yes.
So, okay, we got beyond you getting over the fear of writing your book,
Yes.
or even, well, contributing to this book anthology. How do we even get to this point for you to say, okay, I'll do it. I'll write something.
Okay, what really happened was, okay, so Lady Rochelle has been so instrumental in this whole process
Beautiful.
ever since I met her a couple of years ago. But she invited me actually on her show
Okay.
and to tell my cancer journey story. And I did, and it was like so amazing. And I was like, wow. So it's like I was like, because I get very nervous on the camera. And I was like, I can get this out. I know I can. And so the feedback was really great. And then we found out how many women that it was actually helping.
Wow.
And I was getting all these different responses in my direct mail messaging DM.
Right.
And I was like, okay, so this is a good thing. And then I was asked to speak at an engagement for Pastor Barbara Barron to give a testimonial doing one of her women's conferences. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I can. So I really stopped saying no to the things that I was afraid of doing, and just pushed myself past my fear, and just whatever I sound like or whatever I look like is what it was going to be. So I stopped saying no. That was one thing. And so then Lady Rochelle comes back. Well, no. So those things happen. And I kept telling the story. And it's like I kept telling the story over and over and over again. And I actually started writing a little bit of it on Facebook and sharing it during like my anniversary times, when I was sharing my 5 year, 6 year, whatever. And I noticed how people was really like into it. And then when last year, Lady Rochelle actually was sitting where I am now as a contributing author on the book Unstoppable with Coach Terrence Lefford.
Yes.
And I was like, and in my back of my mind, I was like, how did she get to do that? And how did this come about? How did it happen? And so in the back of my mind, in my spirit, and I always knew I was going to write. I always knew I would write. So I was like, well, I think I want to write or participate in something like that. And sure enough, Lady Rochelle's project was developing, and she wanted me to write, and I wanted to write.
So it was
on the project.
Okay.
And it was funny because I was a little shy of even saying like, I want to do it, because I'm used to like people saying, I want you to do that, rather than me saying, may I do it?
Okay.
So,
I got it.
yeah. But so at the time I was getting ready to reach out to her to ask her, because I said, I'm going to stop being like that. I'm going to ask. And she was asking me as I was asking her.
It was all working together.
It was working together.
Okay, I get it.
So weird how it was working together. And that's how I actually started. And immediately, I didn't even wait. Before she was like, well, she was kind of in a point where, like, a little standstill point where she didn't like know whether it was going to go left or go right. But before she gave the confirmation, I started writing.
Oh, okay. So you'd already started.
I started writing immediately when I knew that I wanted to. I just started writing. And when she said that I could be a part of the project, I was already into the chapters. I was already writing. Yeah, I was already writing.
And then did you determine, or she did, how many chapters you would do?
All of the contributing authors were to do 2 chapters in the book.
Okay.
I think initially when we started, there were supposed to be 10 of us. But out of the 10, there is actually 5.
Okay.
And including not including Lady Richelle's part in what she's writing, according to what our chapters are about. But so altogether, there's 5 of us, and then Lady Richelle.
Okay. So it didn't take you long.
No, it was. I call it a miracle because the story was already inside of me, and all I needed to do was just pick up the pen. So I didn't have a struggle. I don't know what the struggle, maybe some another project later or something. But with this project, there was no struggle.
Well, but that's good though. That's still good because we're still even talking about your journey. It may have been inside of you, but then, and see, this will be encouraging to others too, to start writing, about their journey, about what's going on with them, because people are still also dealing with, that fear of telling or being transparent.
Exactly.
So I'm grateful that you weren't, you started writing or whatever, because you have to think about yourself, you have to think about your family, how all of your story is going to affect them and what all you're dealing with. And okay,
so I think what kind of did help me, like what I was talking about early on, was the fact that I started to speak it first in the speaking engagements, and then on the radio. And then also Lady Richelle, I laugh about it. She tricked me. She invited me on her show again about a month or two ago, whenever. And when I got to the studio, I was informed then that I was not being interviewed. I was actually going to be her co-host.
Oh.
And we had the most amazing time. It was fun. But it kind of like eliminated even more of the fear. And so she and I just had a great collaboration.
Awesome.
It was amazing. And so I'm getting more comfortable speaking it. So it helped to write it better too, because I had let it out.
Right. All of that worked hand in hand together.
Yes.
That's
yes.
great.
I won't tell everything, but
yeah, that's good. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, we don't want to tell everything. We want you guys to make sure that you follow them. Let's see. We already said that June 22nd is going to be the launch.
Yes.
And why don't we take a little break right now so you can talk about that launch before we go further with our discussion. Talk about the launch on the 22nd, where it's going to be, and encourage the people.
Okay, so the book launch is going to be June 22nd. Unfortunately, I don't even know the location. I can tell you that it's on Eventbrite, and all the information is there. I'm going to research that, so I'll have that information for
before
we
leave today.
Get off the air. I'll definitely have.
That'll be fine.
I know it's going to be. I think it's 108th and Vincennes. It's at a banquet hall, but I'll have the name of the hall and the exact address.
Okay.
And it's going to be from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. and that's a Saturday. It's a luncheon. And I believe with some of the things that are because I'm not planning it, I'm not coordinating the entire thing. I don't know a lot about what's going on, but I believe that the authors will be doing some interviews, and I know we'll be doing some book signings. So before we get off the air, I'm going to have the exact address.
Okay, great.
For you guys.
Because I want them to be able to, either support at the launch. Definitely, we want them to purchase the book. Yeah. And to make sure that they are following you when it comes out. Deborah Jones Riddle, I see you on. Elder Kevin McGee is on. Thank you for watching. Jephthah Winters, how are you? Good to have you on as well. We appreciate you guys for joining us on today. We are talking to Tracy Kincaid, a contributing author of When Warriors Talk, God Listens. It is a book anthology, and Tracy is talking about her journey about overcoming breast cancer, the diagnosis, and the whole journey. I'm telling you, she gets transparent in her 2 chapters. My goodness, I chuckled a little bit at and some of the things that I read, and I'm like, you probably know what I'm talking about. When you actually got the diagnosis, and after when you were looking for
girl,
I laughed at you. I did, because we will do that in a minute, won't we? But anyway, I know you guys probably, what is she talking about? Well, you're gonna have to get the book, okay? You have to get the book. You have to get the book. But talk to me about, and I know you're finding that's for us.
I have it. I'm just coming up now. Yes.
Okay. I want to talk about your support system.
Yes.
Your family, those that were around you. tell them the name of your chapters again. Talk about your support system.
Okay.
Now, do you want to give us the information
Well,
for
I
the?
can do that. Yes.
Okay.
So the book launch is going to be Saturday, June 22nd. It's from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. And the location is at Ruby Brownstone Infinity Banquet Hall. And the address there is 10244 South Vincennes, and that's Chicago, Illinois. Again, the location is Ruby Brownstone Infinity Banquet Hall, and that is at 102nd how you say that? 102nd and 44?
10244
Yeah.
South
One
Vincennes.
South Vincennes,
Okay.
Chicago, Illinois.
All right.
Yes. And the general admission tickets are $35.
Okay. Now, are they able to buy them at the door, or they have to get them through Eventbrite?
I know I'm reading from the Eventbrite site right now. I'm not sure. I think it's I don't know. I think they need to go on Eventbrite
Okay.
because she'll need to have it's like sit down dinner.
Okay.
So
maybe before we or even once we end today's session, you can maybe place that information in the live feed. That way they'll have it as well, or at least a link to that event.
Put the link in the live. I don't know how to do it, but you can help me.
Okay. We'll get that to you guys because we want you all to support them as well. And this is it's going to be a great event. We want to support these women who are, and the reason why I say let's support them is because, again, I've said it a few times in the show, they're being transparent. They're telling about their journey so that it will help somebody else. And this is what we want to do.
Yes.
This is what we need to do. I will say this much, and I know I asked you a question to talk about your support system,
Yes.
but let me interject this. Reading your chapters,
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm not going to go to the laughing part. But reading your chapters, it told me how important it is to have a support system.
Yeah.
It told me how important it is that when individuals are going through, whether it's a diagnosis or tragedy, it's important to have somebody in your corner. It's important to have somebody there fighting with and for you.
Yes.
It's crucial, actually.
Yes.
It's very crucial because if you, and I've often heard this, that, if you go in maybe to a doctor's appointment or whatever, and you get a diagnosis, you don't need to be alone.
Don't be alone.
You don't need to be alone because you never know how it's going to affect you at that moment.
Exactly.
And then your mind's going all over the place, and you
Right.
probably don't even remember what all the doctor told you.
Right. You need an advocate.
You definitely need an advocate. So that's what I talked about with the support system, and it's so important. And I recall when my mom was dealing with cancer, unfortunately we lost her. But if we had, I'm looking at you, reading your book.
Mm-hmm.
I'm listening to you, Lady Rochelle, and all your stories, and how you were just surrounded with the support system.
Yes. It doesn't have to be a lot of people.
It doesn't. No, exactly. It could be one or two people. It could be, just your spouse or
my husband was like
child.
the covering for me. It was like I didn't need my children. I didn't need my sisters and brothers to fly from the other parts of the country. I didn't need my best friend to stop her job or her life and her family to come. That was support for me.
Right.
That was support for me. For them to hear me when I spoke, that I was okay. See, people, if you respect is support too. It's not always about you being there physically and how much money you spending and how much time and effort you put into it. Sometimes it's just respecting a person's wish is support as well. And so I had a wonderful, wonderful support system. My job, they knew when to come. They did come.
Okay.
It was clockwork. They started texting me, people from my job. Oh God, my JNL family is so beautiful. When they knew that I was getting ready to go for the next chemo treatment, they started texting me and just little encouraging me. I noticed that. I didn't ask them to. I just noticed it, that they would text me and start encouraging me. And then when I would have that chemo, they would bring me food.
See, all of that's important. It, like you said, it doesn't have to be a lot of people, and they don't have to do a whole lot.
But the whole team would come together. The chefs would make the food. They had a representative, Annie Kopak, actually Kearney now. She's married now. Annie would come by and spend the time with me. All of them wouldn't come. Then they would take shifts, like, okay, well, we're gonna let her rest, and then two of them will come on this day. Just things like that. It was just a beautiful thing because it was very protective, pretty overly protective of me. And he just didn't want me to have like a lot of germs, a lot of people coming in. Oh, I didn't go out a lot either. I kind of stayed home in between treatments. But just trying to not get a lot of germs in the house and catch colds or things of that nature or whatever, the flu, whatever. And so we just kind of cling to each other, And my children, I never let my daughter go to my appointments with me. A lot of people say, I heard on Krista, one of the authors, saying that her mom took her to every appointment, everything. She was just a kid, but her mom was preparing her because I guess she knew that her journey was going to end soon. But I knew that all I had to do was just get through my journey. I knew I wasn't gonna die.
Okay. You
I
had
mean,
that confidence.
yeah, I knew that I wasn't gonna die, but I knew that I was gonna have to get through it. Now it wasn't easy; it was really difficult. But I didn't allow my daughter, and she respected it, so that was support too. But when I needed her, she was right there.
And that's what you mean by respect too.
The respect,
The
yeah.
respect.
Yeah.
I love it. Love
Because
it. Love it.
sometimes you can be overwhelmed. You're trying to heal, but you can be overwhelmed with too many people,
Mm-hmm.
too much. Some people just need that.
Right.
I didn't, so thank God.
Right.
I didn't need it.
And everybody's different.
Everybody's different, so I can't even compare myself to another woman or what they like. I heard the other author, Carol, her family flew in from everywhere just to go to chemo with her. That's beautiful. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
That is amazing. But my husband went to 8 rounds of radical chemotherapy with me. He was the only person that sat in that room with me the entire time.
That's beautiful. That's love.
The entire time. And with him being there, I did not need anyone else. I didn't desire anyone else.
Right. And that was your prerogative.
That was yes. And so that was great. That was great for me.
Wonderful. Love it. I love it. I love it. Buddy Gill, thanks for watching. And Deidre says respect is so important. I totally agree. So your daughter, let's start with your daughter.
She's amazing.
Let's start with your daughter because you've already said she did not go to the treatments with you, but she was there for you. And I'm telling you, when I read that portion about her, I'm like, I love her.
She is so adorable.
I love her. I can see why you say
adorable.
she's, yes. Oh my God. I thought that was just so beautiful because it's like, you see your mom going through or whatever, and you want to do whatever you can to help her through.
Yes.
And that's how I was with my mom. Maybe that's why my heart was, kind of relating to her and going out. So let's talk about your daughter.
She's so amazing. So her special touches when she just takes my face like this.
Okay.
And kisses me. She's so sweet. So my daughter, she is this just amazing young woman. She loves her mother. And I'm so blessed because it could just not be that way,
You're right.
And so I'm so blessed. I'm going to say this so much of what I did. I just say it's the kind of heart that God put inside her, and she just loves her mother. And I'm just like her. I'm her baby doll.
Right.
Just bottom line, I'm just her little baby doll. And she mimics me. I noticed early on when she was a little girl that how she mimicked me. And then that's when I became very conscious and aware of how I act around her, how I carry myself around her, because she did everything I did. And so my daughter actually was exemplifying to me the tenderness of that I know I have. And so it was coming back. It was like, it's like that boomerang. It's like when you throw it out, it was coming back. Oh my God. It was coming back to me. And so she was boomeranging all of that love that I had thrown out. She was boomeranging it right back to me. And when I tell you, all I had to do at that point, I had been already through the chemo and the radiation, and I was just trying to find myself. And I was lost. I just didn't know, like, where am I? Who am I? Where is she? Did she leave? Is she coming back? Where are we going? Where are we going with this? Because nobody gives you a manual and telling you how things are going to be after treatment.
And she means she's talking about herself.
Myself.
She was trying to find herself.
I was trying to find me, myself. And so then I was praying too. I was asking God to like, what should I do? Order my steps, help me. And so when he started dropping things in my spirit, and so I told my daughter what I felt, and that was I wanted to have this makeover. And then there were other things, and I wanted to do these jingles. And all I had to do was just say what I wanted to do, and she was like, when or where. It was never how. It was just when do you want it, mommy? And where do you want it, mommy?
Right.
And that's how that was.
So if you said you wanted to just go have ice cream all day long,
whatever
she would
it
just take
was that I wanted to do, she was right there to make sure that it happened.
I love it.
She was right there to make sure that it happened.
Mm-hmm.
And that was everything to me. It was so amazing. She was the one that actually introduced me to the Tasha Joyner Foundation.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I never wanted to be in a support group. I just didn't. You'll read about it. I just never wanted to be in a support group. And so this was different than just the ordinary support group. The Tasha Joyner Foundation is it's a network of women. It's sort of like being in a sorority. It's not like, you're going to tell your little sad sob stories about why me, God. Well, why not you? Why this happening to me? Oh, I'm dying. It's not that type of group. And so, Jamisha is, she's a recording artist.
Your daughter is?
My daughter is a recording artist.
Wonderful.
And she had one of her makeup artists, Landis makeup, Landis, what do you call it? Landis makeup artist. Landis actually told Jamisha, I guess Jamisha, maybe she was venting to him because she needed someone to listen to her. And so obviously she was talking about her mother. And so Landis told her, she said, well, I know this wonderful group your mom would probably be, could help your mom. And so when the help word, we didn't, when we said help, because at the time I wasn't working, I did have some bills and some things that were just like what Lady Richelle organization does, help women through hard times or whatever.
Right.
So when they said help, I thought this group was that type of group. I didn't know that it was a whole different thing going on over there, but it was great though. And so Landis introduced Jamisha to Tasha, and then Tasha had a meeting with me, and then invited me to come to the Pillow Talk. Is the name of the event that she has every month, but the name of the group of the Butterflies. And so I went, and it was on. That was it. And my daughter was responsible for that.
Is that right?
Yes, she was like, "Mom, I got to do something."
So this was a way or a group for you to be able to express yourself, listen to others, and just kind of have additional support. Is that basically?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, all of that, and then some, and much more. Yes.
Wow. So so you credit your daughter with that, because like you said,
Yes.
you weren't interested in.
I was
reaching
not
out.
interested at all. And finally, she had told me about it like months before, but I was a little resistant, and I was like, "Oh no, Misha." She know I'm really finicky. I'm like, I ain't even. And so finally, she just kept on and kept on and kept on. Then I started in my inner ear, I started hearing the concern. She was concerned. It wasn't about go be with a group. No, she was concerned about me because what she was seeing, how she had seen me and how she was seeing me at the time. She was concerned about me, and I could hear her cry. It was a cry in my ear of her wanting me to go do something other than being in the state or staying in that state that I was in at the time.
Right.
And so when I heard my baby speak to me, then I was able to,
Right, because you weren't going to do it on your own.
Oh no, I was not going nowhere near nothing.
Yeah.
No.
And
no.
and I thank God for working through her, because that's
Yes.
exactly what he did.
It was a miracle.
It was definitely the Lord working through
Yes.
her, because you needed that.
I did.
I can only keep reflecting on my own mom. If we
Mhm.
had that back then,
Mhm. Yes.
I didn't really hear of like support groups. Not that it
Mhm.
wasn't, but I didn't
Yeah.
really. It's not as prevalent as it is now. And I think you kind of mentioned this in your book, how it's becoming more of an epidemic with the cancer, the breast cancer,
Oh
and this, that, and the other
yes.
now. So because of that, you have others that are creating these groups and stuff. But
Exactly.
I didn't see that
Mhm.
when my mom was dealing with it, and she went down real fast.
Mhm.
She went down fast. But I think that hindsight is 2020. Of course, I'm not sure, but I'm thinking that if she was able to have support groups, if she was able to have organizations like Lady Rochelle and helping
Yes.
individuals to
Yes.
kind of get through this
Yes.
diagnosis
Yes.
and this new norm,
Yes.
so to speak, that maybe she would still be here.
Right.
I've told this before on my show that, my mom had already been diagnosed and she had been going through. And I recall one time where she had gotten sick again. So we had to take her back to the hospital. And when she left my house, she was fine. She left, she wasn't carried out or anything like that. But I do recall she waited in for a little bit. And I one day I wasn't up there yet. I hadn't gotten there yet. Her sisters and her brothers were there,
Mhm.
whatever, and they were visiting her. And the nurse comes in and she just blurts out, "We're putting her in hospice," in front of my mom.
Wow.
And I said, I know that's what that
The
got in her
mental.
psyche.
Yeah.
That got in her
Right.
psyche. By the time she came to my house, she was a totally different person.
Yeah.
I saw death all over her.
Mhm.
But that got into her psyche. And,
Right.
so, her sisters, they were like, "Oh my God, why would this lady say this in front of her like this?"
Right. Just
If you're going to say, you
no
could at least tell the
bedside
family or
manners.
something like that.
Yeah.
You're right. But, I think about support groups. I think about, somebody that could have helped her get through it or
Right.
whatever. Because even, I've seen people since then that have gone into hospice or whatever. That didn't necessarily mean that they actually passed away.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
know,
My sister is a prime example of that. In December of last year, my sister is a breast cancer survivor as well.
oh,
Well, actually, see, she's in the battle now. But she was told by some doctors in the early part of December that there was nothing more that they could do for her, and they actually did. She actually did go into hospice. But just recently, about a month and a half ago, my sister came out of hospice.
praise
She
God.
went to the hospital, had some things done medically to her, and now she is thriving through that whole situation. And she's still here with us when the doctor said then that she probably would only live maybe 2 weeks or maybe 2 months, or she could actually flatline any minute, is how he put it to my nephew. And my sister is still here with us and
Mhm.
not doing 100, but she's better
She's doing.
than yeah, she's better than what they said that she would be, how she would be. And so
Right.
we know that's by the mercies and the grace of God too, and our faith. But yeah, and she's really ready to get up and live her life. She's trying to actually come to Chicago for our book launch in June, and I'm hoping and praying to God that she is strong enough to come. But if not, it's okay. If she
Right.
can't, but still it's in her heart and her mind, and she's striving, trying to do it, and not laying in a bed with a death sentence and
Over
waiting,
you.
waiting to die.
Mhm.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I love it.
But
Okay.
they did speak that on her, and she was actually in
Yes.
hospice. Yeah, her lungs were full,
Mm.
like to the point where when the nurse practitioner came, they said that her lungs were not even getting any oxygen. So the next thing was just to give her some morphine and just take her
Yeah.
out. But my oldest sister, hallelujah, thank you God for Ava. Ava said no, not so. They called the ambulance. She went to the hospital, and she's been alive since
Ever since.
then.
See?
I'm not talking about in the bed. I'm talking about moving, walking around, where she can get out, go to church.
See there?
Yeah.
And see, that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm
So
talking
we
about.
do need to, have more support systems intact for each other. Yeah.
Definitely.
And like one of the authors on the book with me, Krista's mom did pass away.
Okay.
But her mom also started a foundation before she transition. And so now Krista is actually taking over her mother's organization. And so she provides, I forget the name of her organization, but she provides support and help for women that are going through the battle too. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's good, because that's obviously helping Krista even to deal with her
Exactly.
mom's demise as well.
Right, exactly.
Again, bringing awareness and
Yes.
making people aware of what's happening. Janice, thank you for watching. I see you on, and Demetria Brand Triplet is on. There are other names here, but I do appreciate you guys for watching. We're talking today with Tracy Kincaid. This is the contributing author of When Warriors Talk, God Listens. And I'm glad you guys have joined us on today. We've been talking about her journey. We've been talking about her contribution to this book anthology, and it's just been great. I mean, I can't wait. I mean, the 2 chapters that I read of hers, of her manuscript, I can't wait for the entire book to come out and then to see the others and their
it's gonna be
contributions
amazing.
as well.
It's amazing.
So we've also mentioned again about the book launch, which will be on June 22nd. Go to Eventbrite and look it up. We're going to try and put a link in our live feed here. Maybe right now what I can do is actually, oh, you know what, you guys, you know that I'm celebrating birthdays. So if you guys have a birthday today, you got to let me know. Type it in the comment section. If you're watching me right now, type it in the comment section that it's your birthday. And we don't want anybody telling stories, okay?
Right.
So if it is your birthday today, Mind, Body, and Soul wants to celebrate with you, and we'll be giving you a beautiful cash reward. So
cash.
If it's your birthday, let me know. While we're on the air on today, you have to let me know while we're on the air. All right, we're going to take a quick break because what has the Lord has blessed Mind, Body, and Soul with on a weekly basis is a spoken word, which is penned by Elder Kevin McGee. He has a show here on Saturday. He contributes to Mind, Body, and Soul by penning a spoken word that is relative to the day's topic. So I want you guys to take a listen to that, and we'll be back for more of we'll have a song after that, and then we'll come back for more of Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette right here on Intellectual Listen.
Have you ever felt trapped by the very thing that you thought you knew? Your mind, your body, your soul. Thinking that you are living your best life and never understanding that every day for you is like the iconic line from Miss Sophia, "All my life I had to fight." When you realize that fighting is in your DNA, then your perspective changes. Donald Lawrence sings, "There is a king in you, but there is also a warrior in you." And when your back is against the wall, when you feel like the enemy is buffeting you on all sides, that's when the warrior in you stands up, and you will walk in the strength and the power of God. No rolling over and dying, but you are destined to fight. You are destined to win, for you are more than conquerors, and you will always be triumphant and victorious.
I don't believe that I gotta stay sick when God can heal. I don't believe that I gotta stay broke when God can bless. No. I don't believe that I gotta stay hurt. My God's too real. Lord, I believe in you. Lord, I believe. Lord, I believe in you. Lord, I believe. I don't believe that I gotta stay sick when God can heal. I don't believe it. No. When God can bless. I don't believe it. No. That I gotta stay hurt. My God's too real. Lord, I believe in you. Lord, I believe. Oh, Lord, I believe in you. Lord, I believe. I'm a believer. I've been washed in the blood of the Lamb. You forgave me of my sin. You forgave me of my sin. And I'll never let you go. Never. And I'll never let go of your hand. Oh, Lord, I know that I do. Oh, Lord, I believe. Oh, Lord, I've been washed in the blood of the Lamb. You forgave me of my sin. I know you did. Yeah. And I'll never let you go. No. And I'll never let go of your hand. I don't believe that I got to stay sick when God can heal. I don't believe that. No. When God can bless. I don't believe it. No. My God's too real. Lord, I believe in you. Lord, I believe. Lord, I believe in you. Lord, I believe. I don't believe it. No. That I got to stay sick when God can heal. I don't believe that I gotta stay broke when God can bless. I don't believe that I gotta stay
here at Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette on Intellectual Radio. And I'm your host, Annette Harris. Thank you all for joining us on today, for watching and listening. We're on the Facebook live feed, Annette known as Annette. Also on YouTube, MBSWANET, Get Caught in the Net, and then the station's website, intellectualradio.com. My Facebook Live listeners are probably watching me fan myself. That's okay. Almost kind of forgot you guys were there. No, I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, we're here. We're here on this afternoon with my wonderful guest, and she's been doing a great job talking to us about her journey. Tracy Kincaid is here, and this book anthology, I'm waiting for it to come out. When Warriors Talk, God Listens. It is powerful because it's personal journeys. It is individuals who are okay. Elder McGee, I see you. It is personal journeys, transparencies that will help you though. And if you guys, I didn't give out the call-in number, but if you want to call in today, you can. 708-223-8953. Again, 708-223-8953, as we're talking with Tracy on this afternoon. Now, of course, with this book coming out, we can't tell you everything because we want you all to be able to purchase the book to support these young women and what they are telling us. What do you hope to accomplish with even your contribution to this book? What do you hope will be accomplished with what you've given? As you're basically, because you're kind of telling us, about yourself, but making us take a notice of ourselves. What do you hope to accomplish?
Well, accountability for one, for other women to take responsibility for their own lives. I really want to get this story out because I know that there are women that need to hear what it is that I am saying. Hopefully we can break some of those fear barriers where, if I am the Tracy King, because people, people have a tendency to like to look up to you, and I kind of get that. But if I can be the person that can be transparent and open up and tell you my story, then I know that would be encouraging to a lot of other women who are afraid to come out. And so a lot of times people think, like I said, they look at the hair and the makeup and, you're all pretty and you look good or whatever. And they think that you don't have issues. It's like the professional actors and actresses.
Right.
You have a life. And this is real life. This is real. I mean, this is happening to people right now as we speak. And women are getting diagnosed with breast cancer. Women are dying from breast cancer as we speak right now. And so this is real. And, just want to be transparent enough so that people can take notice and say, hey, if she can do this, I can do this. If she can open up herself to us like this, at least let me go see about myself. And that's what I really want to accomplish from writing this in this book. And when people read it, so to let them know that you are not alone and you don't have to be ashamed.
Right. That's true.
And there are different, there's some parts of it, the transparency about that, but there's a lot of different aspects to what I've written in the book, of course. Don't wait.
Mm-hmm.
If you notice something about your breast, the discoloration, changes in your nipples, discharge, whatever, it's not oftentimes it does not appear as a lump. Sometimes it's just discoloration. Inflammatory breast cancer is one that's not a lump, that's on the skin. And so it's a lot of different types of cancer. And sometimes when you don't have that knowledge, you don't know. My friend of mine just recently had a cyst. Fortunately enough, it was benign, but thank God for that. But she did go and see about it. So you can't take anything for granted. you know. So things that you take for granted, and even when people are sick and have been diagnosed, you want to go see about them, or you can go see about them. Do it, because you don't know, they may not make it. You may take it for granted that they're going to be here for another 20 years, and then your best friend is gone and you can't talk to them and ask them nothing because they're not even here. So it's a lot of I was writing. it's
You
a
were, you
it's a
were.
lot. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a
Yeah.
lot. If you're smoking, and you shouldn't be smoking anyway. It's bad on your health. But really, you shouldn't be smoking after 40. Do something. Stop. Take some. I went cold turkey. Thank God for that.
Right.
But if you need some assistance, get some assistance. It's just a lot. I just want. It's a lot. It's
Yeah,
a lot.
it
It's a
is.
lot.
It is. As you were talking, I remember some of the things sometimes that Lady Rochelle would say. You have to know your body, know your norm.
Know your norm.
Hmm.
Yes. And even if you think something is wrong, don't take it for granted. Go and see about it. And then if you not comfortable with, what the doctor that you go to, and you feel that you want a second opinion, go have a second opinion. I went and had a second opinion, and it actually saved my life. It's another book, but
Right.
but it saved my life. Yeah, because I had 3 nodules actually. One I knew that was malignant. The other one was benign. I was told by a team of doctors that because the third nodule was sitting closest to the nodule that was benign, not to worry about it. From a doctor. Yes. And so I went to get a second opinion. And when I went to get that second opinion, I had that third biopsy, and it was a malignancy.
Okay, what prompted you to do the second opinion? Was it just something nagging you, or did somebody else encourage you to do that?
No, it was where I started out with my cancer journey. I didn't plan to stay. I was actually at Cook County Hospital, and I was blessed. I was so blessed to have friends, people that cared about me. And at the time when I first started, I didn't have any insurance, but because of the state of Illinois that give insurance to women with breast cancer and ovarian cancer, I was able to qualify for the Medicaid. So, but before that happened, a really dear friend of mine actually went to her friends at Northwestern Hospital and just simply told them that my story and that they had to do something. And so,
Okay.
and so that's how that came. That's how it
That
came about.
advocate, that advocate spoke
Favor,
up for
yes.
you.
I
Okay.
had an advocate to speak up for me at Northwestern, yes, and that's how I actually started my treatment at Northwestern. So in the process, you just can't walk. I had to go. So we already knew that we were going to go to see Dr. Hansen anyways, but we didn't want to burn bridges at where we were. So I went to my follow up appointment at Cook County, and at that appointment, that's what we were told. And then we just immediately knew then that we had to run for the border really fast up out of there. And that's what
Wow.
happened. So,
Wow.
and then when I did get over to the other hospital, of course, then they did want to investigate. Like, well, okay, we know what that is. We know what that is. But excuse me, what is that?
Right.
She wasn't gonna touch me or do any surgery on me until she found out what that third nodule was. And fortunately, we did find out, but it was malignant.
So, like you're saying, it's okay to go get a second opinion.
So
Don't.
saying all of that, my point is, don't ever let a doctor tell you that something looks like. No, you want to investigate. Like, can I get an X-ray? Can I get a biopsy? Can I get Can I get a ultrasound or something? Because no one can look at you and tell you what that may or may not be. So don't let anyone
So take
tell you
control.
that. Take
Understand,
control.
even when you go to
Yes.
doctors and get checkups and
Yes,
everything,
you have to take control.
do your research, like
Do
you
your
were saying.
research. Yes.
That's good.
And then it's even more important in these types of situations, because you don't you yeah, I just advise individuals, just don't go alone, to try to go with an advocate, because that particular time when I did get that information, my husband and my advocate was with me when when I went for the consultation onto what we were gonna do, what we're gonna go to surgery, or how we're gonna
Mhm.
where we were headed with the whole plan. And at that point, we just didn't stay there. We went somewhere else. But yeah, please try to have an advocate. And just know this too, that if you don't have a family member or a friend, because sometimes your family members, they just can't. They have jobs and other responsibilities, but the hospitals do provide advocates for you. So you still you can still have someone with you. They have hospital advocates that will help you get through your process too. So you can ask, if you don't know these things, you won't know to ask, but you can ask for an advocate at the hospitals.
And I'm glad you're saying that, because that's, again, people don't know. Sometimes they
Yeah.
don't know what to ask for. They don't know what to even inquire with their doctors
Those
about.
questions, when your head is messed up. I mean, unless you just super got it all together, and you got your note pen and your pad, and some of us do. But I'm gonna tell you, when they said cancer to me, I ain't hear nothing else after that.
So
So
everything kind of.
everything was just slow motion.
Mhm.
Yeah, really.
Wow.
So, and for someone else to actually be there with me to hear, because I wasn't hearing what the doctors were saying, but to actually hear, I didn't know any better. When they actually said to me, actually, seriously, when the doctor said to me that day that because it's sitting closest to the benign tumor, we're not going to worry about it. I thought it was normal because it's what the doctor said. I didn't know any better.
Right.
I didn't. So, but the people that was.
And how would you know? I mean, you're not a medical doctor. You know what I mean?
But my advocate, I thought she was going to turn blue, black, and purple. She was like, oh, let me hurry up and get you out of here right. Girl, she was so upset. She was like, let me get you out of here right now.
Now, had that advocate been through it themselves, or they just knew what to?
Actually, she had some breast issues, but never breast cancer. But she sits on the board of Lynn Sage, and she was Lynn Sage, one of Lynn Sage's best friends. So in essence, yes, but not personally, but with friends. She lost her best friend, Lynn Sage, to breast cancer.
And she knew.
So she knew that was not the correct information that they should have been giving me. She knew that, but I didn't know. And had she not been with me, I probably would have been scheduling surgery with removing that one that they said was malignant.
Right.
They weren't gonna remove the benign one because that would just be more tissue. It's not gonna turn into cancer. Either it is or it isn't. But the third nodule would have been still left in me. That's the bottom line, and that's the truth.
Amazing.
Yes.
Maybe you mentioned earlier about writing another book.
Yeah, I said that's another book.
maybe within that book you can do some I don't want to say how-tos, but instructions. People, maybe these are the questions you should ask, or this is what you should watch out for. Maybe that can be. I mean, I'm just throwing out stuff.
Thank you. I like it.
I mean, because you know what, people, again, they don't know. If they don't know, you don't know what to ask for. You don't know what to think.
Right.
So if you have, things in front of you to read or whatever, and, again, maybe if it's individual that's going through it right now or something that they'll need later.
Right. I mean, even with the biopsies at the beginning, when I first knew that I had found the lumps, I was told that they were going to biopsy me, and they were going to do an ultrasounded biopsy. They were going to do two. They were going to do both of them the same day. And when I got there, the tech said to me that he was only going to do one because he thought that it would be too much. When actually they could have done all three of them at one time. So that meant that I actually had 3 biopsies at 3 different times. That takes a lot out of you. People, I had the first one. Then they said we'll do the second one, and 2 weeks later, then I had the second one to find out that was benign. And then because it was unfounded, I had to go get a third one. So I actually had 3 biopsies at 3 different times.
That's a lot.
It was a lot. Wow. That was very depressing.
I'm sure.
It was very depressing.
You're constantly going back and back. I see Von Knight watching. How are you? Thanks for watching. Another sister is overcome, right?
Yes.
She's a survivor as well. I'm not sure if it was actually breast cancer or not, but I know
cancer.
Was it okay. Mm-hmm. But thank you for watching. Appreciate you on today. Go ahead and like and share. I do want to ask you, as you're writing your chapters and as you're preparing to write your book,
yes,
what were your thoughts in terms of your family? Did you think that they would be supportive of you writing and telling everything, or were there some hindrances? I mean, I know you're like, I don't want to go on the right. You got beyond that. But then when you thought about your family, or did you think about your family when you were writing and wondering how they would receive this? Did you think that they would be okay with it, or did you feel that you would have any kind of pushback from them? Not only your immediate family, your children, whatever, but like siblings and so forth.
Honestly, I didn't think that they would have any drawbacks from it or anything because like I stated early on, I had done some interviews, some radio, and basically a lot of what I have written, I've already spoken it. And so my family, I have a very, very supportive family, just the immediate children and husband, but also my siblings and my extended family as well. And so they've actually they've been just like encouraging me to continue to keep going in this forward motion that I'm going with telling my story. And so what I did was I actually told my best friend, Carmen, what I was doing. I haven't let her read it yet. I wanted to kind of surprise her.
Right.
But I told her about it. And then, like I said, once I got the story out of me, well, the first chapter, because it's sort of like I wrote the first chapters like straight through. And I let the children read it, and they were so impressed and so excited about it. And then I made sure that I didn't tell everything. I was kind of selective about the thing. You can't tell everything. So I was selective, and I was like, well, maybe we shouldn't talk about this part, but we can talk about this part, So I was mindful of, I didn't want to, I was mindful.
Right.
And even in my personal life, in my marriage, my husband, we went through some things that I wasn't like ready to write about. But I was really grateful that my husband was there with me.
Yes.
And that we weathered through the storm. And so in my ending, I do speak of the fact that we did keep our vows, for better or for worse, because it is a better or for worse, And so there was a lot of things that happened in between there that I'm So everybody's on board, everybody's happy, everybody's good.
Good. And that helps you to be able to go ahead and
I'll do because I was thinking, I was like, well, you gotta
right. Yeah, because it's I mean, you do really have to consider them, not that you want it to stop you, but you considering them,
right?
Wondering
and
how
it's
they're
so
feeling.
much, and it's so many different type of ways that you can tell your story, that you don't have to tell every detail of your life or whatever, and still be able to be, successful at it.
Yeah, definitely,
and make an impact.
Yes.
Because it's about, the story. I'm telling the story about me, but it's really at the end of the day not about me. It's about to the listeners, to the audience that is gonna, and to the people that's gonna read it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
that's how I feel about. That's how I feel about those two chapters.
Mm-hmm.
What it's gonna do.
Yeah.
Because I've lived. I went through it.
You went through.
But I want to help someone else. So it's really about everybody else.
Right. At this point,
it's about them.
Because you've come through.
Because it's I'm going to give this gift. It's like, to me, it's that gift that I want to give to another woman to say, hey,
you can make it.
You can make it. You can do this.
Good.
You can find yourself. And you don't have to try to get back to being something that you'll never be again. Because you're not going to ever be that again. But you gotta find out who you are now and move forward and be better and stronger.
Right.
And like a lady said, wiser.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So Tracy was trying to find Tracy, right?
Yes.
And that itself, that's probably a whole book itself, right?
Yeah. It was rough.
I mean, because and when you read her chapters, she'll take you through with her. It's almost like you can kind of, the way that I read books, maybe I should say that, the way I read stuff. I mean, you took me in with you.
That's what I wanted to do. Did I really?
You did.
Oh wow, I wanted to do that.
You took me there, and I'm like, wow.
Whoa, that's what I wanted to do.
This is deep because Here you are, you're talking about your diagnosis, you're talking about, all that you dealt with the treatments, and then after that was over, like, okay, who am I? Where did I go?
And what happens, because it's like, I do speak of this in the book, how it's sort of like when I'll tell you guys this part. When you graduate, when you graduated high school, you go to school your whole entire life that you remember,
Right.
and you graduate, you're looking so forward to getting that diploma, because you're gonna be a big girl now. And some of us, I went to college, so you're looking forward to going to college or whatever. But when you walk across that stage and get out of school before everybody else, so all the other kids are actually still maybe even taking finals or whatever. They're still enrolled
Right.
enrolled students, right? But when you walk across that stage that afternoon, evening, or whatever, and you get that diploma, and you wake up the next morning, you don't have to go to school.
Nope.
And and college doesn't start immediately after you get your diploma. That's like 3 months or at the end of summer or whatever. It's like, what do you do? And it's like when and then, but the first thing we did, or I did, or some of my classmates did, is you want to go right back to that school. But it's like, what do you do when you get back to the school? You go to the office and you say hello to the principal, you say hello to the receptionist, hello to all the people in the office, but you can't walk the halls, you can't go to your classroom. It's like you're lost. It's like, what? So that's how it kind of was for me.
Okay.
At the end of it was a little break between chemo and radiation, but I knew that I would have to go to radiation. But still, after chemo, was that little break, I was like, I felt like they kicked me out the hospital. Like, now what am I supposed to do? Because that's your little world.
Right.
You ain't looking forward to it on no day, but that is what you're gonna be doing for the next 4 months. And at the end of that 4 months, it's like, well, what do I do now?
What do I do now?
Right. And then so you wait, and then you go to radiation, and that's like going to school, because it's 5 days. Yes.
Oh.
Radiation is 5 days a week. Doesn't take long. Not much of your time. But you go to radiation, you go in, you dress up to go back there to go get get zapped, and put your clothes on, and you go do whatever you're gonna do for the rest of your day. And you go back the next day, and you do that for 5 days. And then at the end of that, it's like,
what now?
What now? Now, on top of all of that, what now? Now we're going to talk about what we're dealing with physically, because you're having some physical challenges, and you're saying, well, when are we going?
Right.
Be normal again.
I'm there with you. I got you.
Are we gonna be normal again, or when is that gonna ever happen? And then when you find out that just because you finished chemo doesn't mean that the chemo is not still working on your body, and because you finished the radiation does it not mean that the radiation is not still affecting you physically. So it's not like you're done with the chemo and then you're done with the radiation and you're done. No, your body is still undergoing changes every day. It's either cells are continues to still die, or some cells are trying to regenerate themselves. And so your body is you are out of control. That's why they have you on so many different drugs. To keep you, to at least try to help you maintain some sort of sanity, because your body, I don't know about anybody else's body, but my body went through some horrific changes. And so, so much anxiety constantly, day in and day out, even until this day, just the anxiety that's going on inside that no one can see, because it's like it's invisible. Ooh. No one can see what you're feeling. No one can see that my chest is hurting right now while I'm speaking to you.
Okay.
No one can see that, but I feel that.
Right.
And I'm walking with that every day, and just think of all the other things that's going on.
Right.
So it's like,
so it's the physical, the mental.
It's a lot of different things. Yeah. It's a lot. And so, listen. So, yeah. Okay. So, we talked about the support groups that I never wanted to go to. So I didn't go to Gilders or anything or nothing. But Susan G. Komen, bless her heart. Thank you, God, for Susan G. Komen. She does offer, in some of the hospitals, Oh, let me go back up. I had chemo at Northwestern, but I didn't have the radiation there. I had radiation at Rush. But Susan G. Komen, she does offer the programs where they'll offer breast cancer survivors. They'll give you like 5 free massages, 5 free acupunctures, some counseling, yoga classes, and things of that nature. They'll even validate your parking. It was really a great program. And I started to get it, like why they would give you need it. So let me say this to you ladies. I waited like a really long time. I didn't go right away. I had the opportunity to do it while I was at Northwestern, actually going through the chemo, but I just kind of you need to go take advantage of those. Yeah, take advantage of that. Because they do offer even, and if no one tells you that is there, you can ask your oncologist, about that program. At least you can have, get your body, get some massages, get some of the toxins out, your body through the massages or the acupuncture if you like that. And you may need to have some counseling, because I really did need to have counseling. I should have gone.
Right.
I should have gone to counseling.
That's another part of it,
I should have taken advantage of that, and I didn't.
Right.
I mean, eventually I did, but I didn't
right
early
away.
on. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, this is good. Good stuff. Good stuff. Beverly, I see you on. Thanks for watching. Or she says she finally got a chance to tune in. And Adrian, thank you for watching. Deidre says, very inspiring story. She's sure the book will be awesome. I agree. And she walks in the Susan G. Komen race for the cure every year to raise funds. Well, we appreciate you for doing that. That's something, you see it all the time, being advertised and the promos for it and everything, but that's a good thing to do. I'm grateful that you are sharing this and everything, because again, make sure you put that stuff in the book too, in your next book, all that you're talking about. You got a lot. Yeah, you have a lot that you need to share, because again, they won't know. How else will they know? How will they know? Maybe they may hear a little something here, a little something there. If you get some in the book,
Yeah,
listen it out. Yeah, definitely. I believe it'll definitely help them. But we're grateful for the contribution that you're doing for this book. You guys are just joining us. This is Tracy Kincaid. Make sure you guys follow her, watch her. She's a contributing author of When Warriors Talk, God Listens. This book anthology was created by Lady Rochelle Dotson Matheny, and it's a collaboration. I believe I think she said 5 authors.
5 authors.
So the book launch will be June 22nd. Go to Eventbrite, and if you notice, I did do a link, and I'm going to pin it so you guys will make sure to see it. I did a link for the event where you can get tickets. It's a book launch and a luncheon when Warriors Talk, God Listens. And this is something that is definitely needed. It's going to help you. It's going to help your loved ones. So make sure you guys go ahead and click on that. Support them. Get ready for the book, because it's coming out, the book anthology. I want you guys to make sure you purchase it. Support these women. When you are purchasing the books, will help them as well, help them get the word out more and more and more to those who need it. You just don't know who needs it. Could be your neighbor, could be a family member, but make sure you guys support and get this information out.
And to the younger generation, I know that in Chris's chapters, read her chapters, but I did listen to her interview, and it's really geared toward more of the younger generation, because she was like 16 when her mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, and unfortunately she lost her mom to breast cancer. And so she just from her perspective and her story that she's telling, she wants to be able to help young people, because she feels that they need to have someone that they can come to and they can be able to talk to too. So I believe it's Krista Carter. Krista
Okay.
Carter. Yeah. And so they can reach out to her. So for the younger younger.
Oh,
generation.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, I heard you mention that Rochelle's daughter is also
Yes.
a contributing author.
hmm
I'm wondering maybe she comes from that aspect as well, a
Yeah.
child
Well, yes, a child. Well, yeah, a child that
whose mother
whose mother was
dealt with
diagnosed,
it.
and she's the. And then we have one of the Shiana is one of the authors as well, and she was only. Oh, I just get chills when I hear. Oh, she
Mhm.
was only 20. I think she was only 25 when she was diagnosed, and she had a really rare form of the breast cancer, and then it's actually metastasized. She had metastatic breast cancer, and then it metastasized to her brain and all sorts of things. But she was young too, and so her. I'm talking about this. I want to
Oh,
read the book,
wow.
y'all. I can't wait to read their
Right.
story. I can't wait. Yeah. So
Oh,
I'm just come. I mean, I'm promoting myself, but also these ladies are in that book with me, and it's just phenomenal. You gotta get that book.
gotta get it.
Yeah,
Definitely,
it's such
definitely.
a blessing. Such a blessing.
Okay, well,
And then,
great.
we're spiritual women, most of
Yes,
us, and Lady Michelle's a lot of what she's doing is inspired by God, and so it's gonna totally be a total blessing.
good, good,
It's a
good.
total
I
blessing.
believe it.
It's a
I
total
believe it.
blessing. Total blessing.
Comment here. Demetra says, I'm driving but listening. Her story is wonderful. My parents went through the self esteem issues her mom had when she had her mastectomy.
Mhm.
My dad's support and love gave her what she needed to know her breast is not what made her beautiful.
Right.
And that's
Beautiful.
good because,
A lot of spouses, husbands leave them, or a lot of um um women that are in relationships end. And I mean,
right.
unfortunate, that's an unfortunate situation. And so everybody, like you say, everybody's story is not the same. Everybody's
It's
story is
not.
different.
It's not.
So that's a whole other topic of how you feel after diagnosis and you lose your
Yeah.
significant other. It's
Right.
a lot of
Right.
it's a lot. Yeah.
I mean, because we've already said, of course, when if an individual goes through something themselves, everybody's different. But
Mhm.
then your support system, or those who are going walking through it with you,
Right.
everybody's not going to react the same way.
Right.
It's a total blessing. You
Mhm.
talked about your daughter. I asked
Yeah.
about her. You
Yeah.
talked about your daughter. How she was just so supportive of you and
Yes.
doing whatever you needed, her to do or
Yes.
wanted her to
Yes.
do. She was there. Everybody doesn't have that in their child
Right.
or their spouse or whatever. So that's a total blessing. And it's not to say that your daughter didn't deal with some stuff herself. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Exactly. And then you have to understand too is that everybody is not because sometimes we get personal and really sensitive about what one person does versus what another person doesn't do. Everybody is not equipped and capable of doing the same thing. When
True.
my mother was sick, my mother passed away of renal disease. My mother was sick. I am a caregiver. I was the one that was able to be there with my mother to bathe her, to do all those special needs things. My elderly sister that's not that's not her makeup. That's not who she is. She was not able to do the things that I did. But we cannot put ourselves on a to compare the other
Right.
because she had other responsibilities that she did well. It was just wasn't the one. So sometimes you cannot expect one person to do what another person does.
True.
That's another thing too.
Yeah.
And so that way, a lot of times we become disappointed and dismayed about different things because we want things to be the way we want them to be and from whom we want to be. And that's not always where it's going to come from. A lot of times God is trying to bless us through other means and resources, and we're looking for it to come from that way. And he's trying to tell us that it's coming from another way. And so we have to be open to what his will is for our lives anyways. And when we become in tune with the Holy Spirit, because I can talk about God on here, you guys.
Oh, yeah.
When we become in tune with the Holy Spirit, then we will better understand his will for our lives and who and how he places and how he orchestrates. God is an orchestrator. He's like the ultimate, oh my God, don't get me started. He's the ultimate orchestrator.
Right.
And if we trust him, he will guide us. He will guide us and he will show us.
You definitely will.
And so because I did do that is the reason why I have the peace that I have. And my story is not like some other stories. That because I did that. God spoke to me and I obeyed and I did what he told me to do. And because I did that, he assured me that I would be okay.
Yes.
Because I did what he told me to do. But I still went through that storm.
Yes.
And I came out of the storm because the storm, I laugh. I tell the story all the time. Jesus was asleep in the boat.
Yes, he was.
And they woke him up
Yes, they
because
did.
he was not worried about the storm because
Mm-mm.
he spoke to the storm.
Right.
But they wouldn't woke him up.
See there.
But Jesus was asleep
He was
and
asleep.
resting well. I
Resting.
believe he was resting well
He was.
while the waves were tossing and
Mhm.
turning. So,
He had everything in control.
right. He is in
Definitely had
control.
everything in control.
So you got to believe that he has everything in control. And just because one does pass on before us doesn't mean that's not bad. I mean, if your soul is right and if you are in right relationship with God, whether you leave today or tomorrow, that's not bad because my mother passed. I blessed my mother to get up out of here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
That's not a bad thing because my mother passed or, but if my mother had died in her sins, then I would be, be heartbroken.
Mhm.
But my mother was a saved and sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost woman. And so when my mother decided that she didn't want to be dialyzed, then I could accept that. And even with myself, I just knew that I wasn't going to leave her because I had confirmation that mine told me she wasn't worried about me. So when she told me she wasn't worried about me, I just knew, well, come on, Jesus. What are you leaving me here for?
There it is right there.
Because it could have been me.
It could have been.
That could have been me, And so okay, so it started making me look at the reason why I'm here today talking to you and our listening audience is because I asked God, well, what do you want me to do? And how do you want me to do it? Because I know that you have something for me to deliver to your people. So I need you to show me the way and create those situations and order my steps and carve the path.
There you go.
That's it. Carve the path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Carve the path. And so now I'm here. I'll say that I'm boldly speaking, but wow, I'm still afraid.
Of
Me. I'm not afraid of God. I'm afraid of me. So as I humble myself before him daily and I try to die daily so that I try to decrease more so that he can increase more. And so I try to make sure that I keep Tracy under so that he can do the work that he wants to do through me. And that it doesn't become about me, but about him, that he's working through me.
I think that's key. That's key, and that's actually a good way for us to segue out of today's session. It has nothing to do with us
It has
at all.
nothing to do with us
at all. We may think it does, but you said, "But it happened to me." But I did this.
It got nothing to do with
It has
you.
nothing to do with you.
Not at all.
It's all about him.
It's about him.
It's about
and
Christ.
His glory.
It's about everything pointing to him.
Yes.
It says when the enemy comes in like a flood,
he raised up a standard.
Yes.
And the word is so powerful. We can just speak the word now.
Yes.
The word is so powerful that in every aspect of your life, there is a word.
It is.
And so that's why I say that word, David said, that word have I hid in my heart that I might not sin against thee. But the word is daily, it's your daily bread. And I'm not such a religious fanatic that, I got to read the Bible every day. Well, it's a good thing to read it every day because it's something good in it for you every day. Life. But the word is life.
It is.
And if the word is in you and you speak, the word is coming out of you, you're giving life. And you have to be careful what you speak.
Mm-hmm.
Because your words, not the word, but your words,
yes,
give life.
It does.
And so, it's just a lot of things, you got to pray and meditate and wait upon the Lord.
Don't we? I tell you. Yes, we do.
So that, because, when you're sharing, you don't want anyone to leave, feeling worse than what they were. And you don't want to leave. You don't want people to leave with false information.
True.
There are so many false doctrines and false prophets, and people are just trending with so many different things now. And I refuse to be one of them. And so before I speak or before I write, I'll just wait.
Yeah.
So that when I am speaking or when I do write, it's what I'm supposed to be saying and what I'm supposed to be right.
That's good stuff right there.
So that's where I am with that.
I love where you are. I do. I appreciate you. I really do. I really do. Comment here, Or says that self-fear is understandable. I agree, Or. It really is.
Because we're flesh.
Definitely.
We are definitely flesh.
Yeah.
We're not super, not anything.
No.
We're really not super.
We may think we are.
You know, but in Christ,
right.
We can be supernatural though.
Right.
Right.
That's right.
But only through Christ.
That's right. Only through
Only
him.
through Christ.
Only through him.
Only through him.
And he has given us the strength. He's given us the wherewithal of what to do, what to say.
Yes.
Deborah, I see you on. Thanks for watching. We're going to wrap up today. We've had a great session on today. We had a beautiful spoken word by Elder Kevin McGee, talking about us being warriors. And, you know, that spoken word was so powerful because, you know, it not only encompassed, you know, the cancer or breast cancer, whatever, anything that you're faced with, and,
Yes.
you know, understanding and knowing sometimes you can be, you know, faced with situations that you never thought that you would be.
That's right.
My late pastor used to say, you know, sometimes you could be in a wilderness. You like, how in the world did I get here?
Right.
How did I get here? How
did
did I
you
end up
get there?
here?
Right.
But God.
Yes.
But God, he's rich in mercy, and he has given us what we need to make it. And you said something earlier. He left you here for a reason.
Yes.
There's a reason for that.
Because, you know, Lady Michelle and I, we were laughing on her show, and we was like, and, you know, the doctor gave you this diagnosis. I said, some of us breast cancer patients, we got it all down pat, honey. Oh yeah, it was invasive ductal carcinoma. We looking at you like, what is that? You got cancer.
Right.
You know, you got
in layman's terms.
Right. But it's like, man.
Talk to me so I understand what you're saying. Right.
Yes. Yeah. But it's like, what did you do so wonderful? They have it all together. I went to every mammogram, and every time when I found my lump, I went right away. And a lot of us do. It just wasn't me. And that's a good thing. And all you ladies should go right away.
Right.
But I did this and I did that. And I did all the research, honey. I ain't researched nothing because I ain't want to know all that. My husband did the research because it overwhelmed my brain.
Wow.
Just thinking about it really seriously. But at the end of the day, my point is, at the end of the day, what did you do so special that the reason why you're here and someone else isn't?
See?
Nothing.
Right.
Just wasn't your time.
Wasn't your time.
And now that you have time here on this side of the...
Yes.
Then you should really be seeking after what God has in store and wants you to do with your life.
Definitely.
And so that's why I'm like, what do you want me to do, God?
And he's blessing you to do it.
And I thank him.
I see you every once in a while. She'll hop on her. She'll do her Facebook Live. She will get on and encourage you guys. And I want to encourage you, Tracy, to continue.
Thank you.
Continue in doing what God has you to do, because you are bringing awareness. You're definitely bringing awareness. And as you say, you receive messages and your direct messaging or whatever. You're inspiring people. Vaughn just said, great interview. She said, and so inspiring, Tracy. Very much so. And you may, and sometimes you may not get somebody to actually type something in there saying you inspired me or whatever, but you have.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned something about your friend. She said something to you that stuck.
Yes.
Your late friend.
Yes.
It stuck.
It stuck. Yes.
And what you're saying here today, other interviews you do in your book, your contributing chapters, you're inspiring someone.
You know, I've had people to come to me, or just when I met them at events or whatever, who've never liked, shared, commented, anything. And they come and they say, I see you. Or and they quote things that I said, and I was like, oh, okay. So I always say, you never know who's watching.
You never know.
You never know. And you want likes, you want popularity. It's not about you.
No.
Stop worrying about how many people like your post.
Yes.
Stop worrying about how many people commented.
Yes.
How many people tooted your horn and made you feel like you was all on top of
like
whatever.
King or queen.
Right. Stop worrying about that. You are helping someone. Just do what you're supposed to do, and you'll be pleasing to God.
That's right.
I'm not going to say the payoff. No, you'll be pleasing God.
Pleasing God.
When you're doing what you're supposed to do, then you'll be pleasing God.
Yes, definitely.
And you will definitely be reaching who you're supposed to.
That's right. That's right.
And then who knows who they may tell somebody something that you said. So it's trickling and
Yep.
trickling and trickling.
Yep.
And that's what it's all about.
Yes.
It's about being a witness,
Mm-hmm.
being that witness
Yep.
to Christ.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you're doing that. So
That's what the
continue,
word-
my sister. Continue.
That's the word.
You're doing a wonderful job. I'm glad again, excited for you and the other authors, excited for Lady Rochelle,
Yes.
and this project that she's doing, this book anthology. Again, it is coming out soon,
Amazing.
guys. When Warriors Talk, God Listens. It's a book anthology, 5 authors. They've contributed a few different chapters each. So we're looking forward to that. The launch is June 22nd. The link is in my live feed. When I get a chance, I'll go ahead and put the link on today's YouTube live as well. So you guys will make sure to get your tickets. It's a luncheon and a book signing, book launch. So you guys, please make sure you support them. They have given of themselves, they've shared, they've been transparent, but this is also to help someone else. Vaughn says life after cancer is humbling. I believe it.
Yes.
I believe it, Vaughn. I believe it. But God has given you all great resources. Social media, use it, ladies, to your advantage to get the word out, encourage people and help someone else. Tracy, thank you.
Thank you for
Thank you for
having
today.
me.
Thank
I'm
you
so
for coming
excited.
in.
Thank you.
She said something about nervousness. I didn't see where it
I
was.
am so nervous.
But we don't even, it don't even matter. If that's nervous, keep it up. Because you did a wonderful job. Follow guys. I'm sure you can probably send her a friend request if you're not a friend already. I'm sure she'll accept you. And, keep up with them. Okay.
Thank
I
you.
am so excited that you guys joined me again on this week, at Facebook Live, YouTube, and on the station's website. I thank you each and every week. I didn't have any birthdays today, but that's okay. We'll continue to celebrate with you guys. If your birthday falls on the day that we air live, let me know, and you will be blessed. Just want to let you all know that I appreciate each and every one of you for your support every week, Mind, Body, and Soul. Going into our 6th year at the end of the year, and I'm just excited about what God is doing. He's blessing, opening up doors, and making ways. So I'm excited about what He's doing. I get out of His way so He can get in the way. All right. Next week. Who do I have next week? Jacinda Ross will be I actually have 2 shows next week. Jacinda Ross will be next Wednesday, and then Dr. Hill will come on Friday. As a matter of fact, Dr. Hill is out of the country right now, so we had to get her on another day. This is our doctor for the monthly health and wellness. So 2 shows next week. There's something else I will let you all know, probably maybe tomorrow, about something that's going on this week. So stay tuned for Mind, Body, and Soul, okay? You listen to Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette. I appreciate each and every one of you. And until next time, what I want you to do, I want you to soar and get caught up with Annette.
Yay.
Get caught in a net with Annette. For your mind, body, and soul. Get caught in a net with Annette. It's your intellectual radio show. Here to